Welcome to Breaking the Barrier, a Western lifestyle podcast highlighting those breaking barriers both in and out of the arena. Today, we're sitting down with Conner Halverson, Nebraska's own PBR bull rider. Conner, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So, to kick things off, tell us about how you got started in rodeo and then what made you want to continue bull riding at this level.
I just got started at a young age, riding sheep and stuff like that, and I really enjoyed it. And then as time went on, I started getting on calves and steers, and I just never really thought about stopping, and I just kept going with it, and eventually worked my way up to where I am now.
Awesome. So in May of 2021, you won the Pendleton Whisky Velocity Tour in Sioux City, which helped you qualify for the 2021 World Finals. What was that experience like for you? And how was 2021 in general? It was a big year.
Yeah, it was a good year for me. I didn't have a whole lot of points prior to winning Sioux City, Iowa, and I won that event, and it gave me enough points to kind of help me qualify for the PBR finals. But then I also got an invitation to ride at the Unleash the Beast event in Las Vegas 2 weeks after I won that event, I believe. And I was able to get a bull road there, got some points, and then it just carried on. So after my first event to date in Las Vegas, then I got to go to the last Cowboy Standing in Cheyenne, Wyoming, and I was able to ride a bull there and place fairly high in the round, and that gave me quite a bit of points as well. And then I got to go to a couple Unleash the Beast, and then I went to a Velocity in Massachusetts, and I was able to pick up the win there. And then from then on, after I won the Velocity Tour in Massachusetts, I had quite enough points to go to Unleash the Beast for quite a few events, and I was just able to pick up points every weekend at that level, and that helped me a lot to qualify for the PBR finals.
Awesome. So I've heard some people describe PBR events as, a rock concert with bull riding. Could you explain for people who aren't quite as familiar what the difference is between like a PBR event and a traditional rodeo?
So the PBR events, mainly the Unleash the Beast, they are the top 35 bulls and the top 35 riders. And, they got their music blaring, lights, and, the whole 9 yards. And it's just constant bull riding and great rides the whole time. And it's different from your traditional rodeo where, you got all the events. There's not going to be the fireworks and, all that other stuff going on. And so it's just puts bull riding kind of in its own little show. And, the PBR does a really good job at that.
So you kind of talked about this a little bit earlier with the Velocity Tour and the Unleash the Beast. Describe the differences between those two setups.
So the Velocity, it's just you kind of getting started. You go to those events, and even when you're on the Unleash the Beast tour, those Velocity events can really help a guy out by getting points and stuff. But the caliber of bulls aren't as per se rank as Unleash the Beast. You'll get on maybe some lower level bulls, and which really helped me out when I first started going to them when I was 18. When I first turned 18, I started going to them right away, and it was a bit of a struggle to even get used to the bull power on the Velocity Tour, and that kind of matured me, getting on those caliber bulls in the Velocity Tour right away. Then going to the Unleash the Beast, I was kind of not fully matured, but I was used to, getting on ranker bulls than you would at the amateur level.
And you're gonna have to answer this question for me because I have no idea all the specifics, but you can earn more points at the Unleash the Beast, quite a few more points at the Unleash the Beast, correct?
Yep. There is a ton of points on Unleash the Beast, and um, compared to the Touring Pro and Velocities. So last year it was pretty hard for me to. It's pretty hard for anybody really to go from the Velocity Tour to Unleash the Beast unless you're winning an event or consistently placing in the top three, because there is in the lower levels, there's not a whole lot of points. And then if you get onto the Unleash the Beast and you do good, and you start picking up a lot of points, you can you can pick up enough points that Unleash the Beast in one round then to equal out what it would be to win Velocity Tour and just in one round. So once you get there to the Unleash the Beast and you can ride and you can consistently make points there, it's pretty easy to stay up there with them guys rather than trying to catch up with the Velocity Tour.
Gotcha. So talk about your transition from, high school rodeo and amateur rodeos to this level. What was the biggest learning curve besides obviously the caliber of bulls, is a lot ranker, but what was the biggest learning curve for you?
The biggest learning curve was you know the consistency is key. You got to be consistent, because when you go to these events and you're not consistent, you're not picking up points, especially on the Velocity Tour where there's not a lot of points to begin with. And if you're not consistent, you're not going to be picking up very many points throughout the course of the year. So the key was kind of just being consistent and trying to pick up points every weekend. And that was the biggest thing for me, is just trying to be consistent so I could pick up points continuously throughout week each weekend.
So a lot of PBR events are in big cities, and the PBR kind of has a different target demographic and audience than traditional rodeo. How has what has the experience of traveling to all these cities been like? I know you've been to Madison Square Garden, on both coasts. What is the difference, and what are some highlights? I guess.
Yeah, I'd say going to Madison Square Garden this year, at the beginning of the year, was it was pretty cool, just knowing that you're in a place like that where there's been, famous boxing matches and stuff like that, and in that arena. And a lot of these arenas we go to, there's, you know, people that are famous, that you've like listened to their music, or watched them box or whatever. They've competed in that same arena or sang or whatever. And it's just kind of cool to be able to go there and ride in an arena like that where all those people have been before. And it's pretty cool to be in a place like that.
So, in the rodeo world, there's most of rodeo fans, have background in the Western industry and kind of have some context for those events. But a lot of the people that are coming to these PBR bull ridings might not necessarily be from an ag background or understand kind of where this all originated. Have you had any interactions with fans or any takeaways from kind of the people in the crowd?
Yeah, I mean, usually when we go to big cities like New York and stuff like that, they see a cowboy hat once a year, and it's when the PBR comes to town. But everybody loves it there. They really get into it, and they love it. And it's most that way for every big city we go to. It's mostly the fans really don't have a clue what's going on, but they just love to see it.
Definitely. So most sane people don't really understand why someone would strap themselves to a 2,000-pound animal willingly. What keeps you wanting to work at this and come back every time?
It's just something that I've always wanted to do. Sit and when I was little on the couch watching the PBR. I always knew I wanted to be there someday. And now that I'm able to be there and do what I wished when I was a little kid, it just it drives me a little more because I know I can. I know I have the capabilities to be there week in and week out and make a career out of it. And so that's kind of what drives me the most. Just knowing that right now I'm not at my full potential, and I know I have a lot more to give. And so I keep working on that every day. I'm working towards it, and that's my goal at the end of the year. At the end of my career is to have a gold buckle, and I think that kind of is what drives most of the guys. I say most, probably everybody, that rides bulls. They want that gold buckle.
So you're from the Gordon Rushville area. What does it mean to represent your community as sort of a local celebrity, you know?
Yeah, it's I everybody cheers me on. I get so many texts and messages and stuff when I do good, or even when I don't do good. People, they're so supportive around here, and they love just to be able to watch me, and you know uh go city to city, and be able to ride bulls on a stage like the Unleash the Beast and stuff. It's it's really humbling that that you have a small town like this, that mostly everybody is behind you, cheering you on, and wanting you to do good.
So as we kind of look forward to the rest of the year, what are some goals that you have for 2022?
Um, my main goal probably is to make the World Finals again, and just be consistently um, in the top 10 or 15 by the end of the year is would be awesome. And just staying healthy, and you know being one of the top riders at the end of the year.
Definitely. So there's a lot of mechanics and technique to riding bulls, so much more than just staying on for 8 seconds. Um, why? What would you say has been an area of your technique that you've really tried to hone in on and work on since you started riding in the PBR?
Well, there's probably not really one area. You got to work on everything. You got to work on everything just the same as you would when you're starting out. If all your technique isn't aligning together, then it might not work out very well. So you just kind of I try to work on everything. As far as setting your hips, your free arm, your legs, everything. So just try to work on everything, so that way everything aligns together like it should when I go and compete on the weekends.
For sure. So, in other rodeo events, if you want to compete at the professional level, you really only have one opportunity with the PRCA. Why did you decide to pursue your professional career in the PBR and not the PRCA?
Um, it was just mainly just a goal, really. I've always wanted to be in the PBR. You watch the PBR every weekend. When I was growing up, they didn't have the Cowboy Channel. They didn't have all these PRCA rodeos on TV like they do now. And so I was always watching the PBR, and I always wanted to be there since I was little. And so when I turned 18, I knew I'm gonna go to the PBR and try to reach my goals. And you know the bulls that they bring to the PBR they're so good. They're bulls that you want to get on every single time. And and it's just I love the atmosphere of going there and being able to ride and watch a bunch of good bull rides, and just being around bull riding for 2 hours every weekend. um it's that's something I like. And I never really you know thought about going to the PRCA any. So I knew PBR was the way that I wanted to go.
Gotcha. So, you are undoubtedly an athlete. And I think there's a lot more focus, especially recently, on, keeping yourself in shape and doing things like that. What is your routine when you're on the road to make sure you stay healthy?
Um, so that's a really big thing. All bull riders, they we need to keep our bodies in shape and healthy. And what I've learned, especially going to PBRs, is a lot of these bulls, that if you don't keep your body healthy and your muscles healthy and everything, that they'll tear the crap out of you, and you won't last very long. So you'll be banged up pretty easy. So I try to keep my body healthy, eat right, work out, and just just try to keep everything as healthy as I can, so I can have a full season and not be out because of injuries, because my body's not healthy and stuff like that. It's just, well, it'll help you in the longevity of your career as well.
Definitely. So I'd be curious to know who some of your mentors are and how they've impacted you as a competitor.
Yeah, I've been fortunate enough to have really good mentors. You know, uh, I'd say about my first one, I was competing here in Gordon at the steer riding during their rodeo performance, and I didn't have a clue what I was doing. And some guy by the name of Casey Sterling came up and helped me out, and you know, I sent him a letter afterwards telling him thank you and whatnot. And then 3 or 4 years later, I met up with them again and started going to their bull rides and stuff. And he kind of took me under his wing and started helping me out and stuff. And then when I got a little bit older, going to junior high and stuff like that, Mark Ward, he's helped me out a lot too. So both of those guys have helped me out my career, inside and out of the arena. Just helping me along, figuring out stuff I need to work on, telling me um, how I should go about, entering, traveling, just whatever. They've always been really helpful to me, and I can't give those guys enough credit, because without them, who knows where I'd be.
So something I like to ask everybody is, what's a piece of advice that you've received that you'd like to pass along to other people?
Uh, Probably the biggest piece of advice that I've got and I've kind of taken and ran with is, you're only as good as the people you hang around. You're only as good as the people you travel with and associate yourself with. And I see that all the time. There's tons of people that might not be associated, maybe with the right person or group or whatever, that could have a lot of potential. And it kind of it shows. And I've seen a lot of people associate themselves with the right people, travel with the right people, and it really shows as well. So that's kind of the piece of advice that I kind of took and ran with. And uh and I can tell firsthand that you find the right people to mentor, to travel with, to talk to help you out with anything. It's really beneficial in and out of the arena, and just in life in general.
Awesome. So as we kind of wrap up today, obviously as you win and get better and better, that confidence grows. But how do you manage your mental game, or what's your approach um, as you get ready to compete?
Yeah, so mental game is a pretty big deal. It can really make or break a guy. Um, and I try not to think about it a whole lot. I just try to keep a healthy mindset. And you know everything I do, I try to I aim it for my goals. So if I go work out, I ride my drop barrel, it's for my goals, and it's for everything I do. And you know uh reading books, you know, about how your body works, and just reading like motivational books, or listening to motivational podcasts, or you know, anything of that sort. Like if you listen to any of David Goggins podcasts, that'll fire you up. But it's just, you know, putting positive stuff and listening to the right stuff in your head, um, is what I think really helps my mental game out. And you know, and a lot of times it's pretty tough to keep positive and keep a healthy mindset, especially, you know, if you're bucking off, or you know, you're going through something. And um, I always tell myself, if I don't do good, if I buck off, um, that's why they always make another rodeo, so you can go redeem yourself. You know, it's your career's not over if you buck off 3 or 4 times. There's always another rodeo to go to, or bull riding, or whatever. And um, especially people my age or younger stuff, your career is just getting started. So there's really no need to be hard on yourself about anything. Um, I you know, when I buck off, I'm probably mad at myself for 5 minutes, and then I get over it, because I know I got another chance somewhere else, or the next day, or you know, something like that. So you know, you kind of got to forget about it and start focusing on the next thing you need to do.